Всем привет, с вами Крейзи Хамстер. Мы продолжаем проходить квест «Сломанный меч 1 ремейк». Мы, значит, в прошлый раз с вами закончили на том, что вы проводили дядю Фиджеральда, сбитого Феррари, отправили его в бар, для того, чтобы он там разбирался с происходящим. А сами в это время пытаемся воспользоваться стогом сена, который позволит нам забраться и перебраться на другую сторону.
On the back of the cart was a crazily stacked tower of hay bales, leaning precariously against the castle wall.
Да, двигать-то, конечно, определенно не получится у них. Давайте слазить.
A stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland.
Ну или хотя бы вот этот вот прибор. Давай.
I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step.
Интересно, если мы свалим отсюда и забудем, с собой вот этот не возьмем, как же дальше он будет? Или он скажет: ты что, мы уже не взяли ключ? Перелазим. Ага, козел, козлиная такая. Ох, что ж мы с ним сделали-то в прошлый раз, я уж и не помню. О, смотрите, сразу получилось.
The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare.
Вот даже как. Там-то он даже подойти вообще нам не давал. Видимо, загадка вызвала столько проблем у игроков, что они немножко поменяли ее, и, собственно, все оказалось гораздо проще. Здесь есть возможность подойти и сдвинуть. Там вы, как вы помните, если помните, конечно, если смотрели или играли, то там вообще не получалось сдвинуть. Нужно было здесь встать, чтобы он добежал, ты успел добежать сюда. А сейчас все гораздо проще. Ну так что сразу спускаемся вниз. Ух, тут прям можно посмотреть на эту штуку.
It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened. There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints. The sack contained a fine white powder. Behind the altar was a carved panel, decorated with animals, birds, and plants.
Ну, понятно, что дверь закрыта, мы даже пробовать не будем с вами. Давайте высыпем гипс в отверстие и пойдем за водой.
I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled.
Все, можно отправляться за водой. Здесь, слава богу, гораздо быстрее теперь передвигаться. Не нужно ждать, пока Джордж пройдет все Необходимое расстояние. Я об этом так молила в оригинальной версии, здесь они реализовали это. Ну что? Это здорово.
I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water.
Воду включать не будем? На пакости. Как быстро здесь теперь добираться, прелесть. Водичка.
The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster. I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue.
И теперь мы можем этим воспользоваться. На двери. На двери. Вот.
The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence.
Ага. Честно сказать, я думала о том, покажет ли нам, чем тем временем занималась Николь, и по какой, собственно, причине она не поехала с нами в Ирландию, но, видите, да, нам покажут, собственно, чем она и занималась, что мы должны сделать. Есть у нее здесь что-то? Папа как раз связан с тем, что происходит. Так. Это незадача на следующее время. Это у нас краткое описание того, что происходит. Куда нам нужно играть? Ага, понятно. А в квартире что тебе делать?
There wasn't anyone that I needed to call.
Что-то мы такое взяли, чем можем воспользоваться, нет? Фотографии людьми?
No. No.
Что хочешь? Угу. А что нам делать? Сообщений вроде как нету.
I had messages waiting to be played.
You have 3 messages.
Hey, Collard, it's me, your favorite editor. Guess what? I'm gonna give you a second chance. I need somebody to write the TV column. Pays lousy, so what's new? If you're interested, drop by the office. In fact, drop by the office anyway. We have to talk, Nico. That story of yours I spiked. It won't go away. You've made some dangerous enemies out there.
Hey, Nico, it's your old pal. I mean, your new pal, George. Whoa, Ireland. It's a whole different country. And I got some amazing news for you. Gem of a story, in fact. Oh, gotta go. Yeah, fella here's got a drink lined up for me. See you tomorrow, Nico. Slonsha. Yep, only here for a day and I'm speaking the lingo like a local.
Mademoiselle Coulard, this is Imelda Carchon. I wanted to thank you for being so understanding when... Come to lunch, why don't you? Tomorrow. I might have more news. There's a Monsieur Merlon coming to see me this evening. He says he knows why Pierre was murdered. In fact, he'll be here shortly. I shall let you know what he says. Goodbye, dear girl. Till tomorrow.
Merlin? Oh my God. Merlin's the killer. I'd better get over there and warn her now. When it came to being two-faced, Imelda was up there with the best. I owed her nothing, but I couldn't just let her die.
Упс. Ну, кстати, сказала, что сообщений нет, а потом выяснилось, что нет.
I arrived to find the Palais Royal courtyard deserted. I only hoped that I'd beaten the assassin here. I had to warn Imelda before it was too late.
Интересно, да, все-таки реально ситуация. Почему вначале показалось, что нет сообщений, потом выясняется, что их 3. И, кстати, возможно, нас специально сюда позвали, чтобы нас прибить. Она об этом не думала, может быть, Имельда специально это сделала. Киллера попросил прийти. Давайте попробуем забраться так же, как это сделал преступник.
Fixed tight. Presumably to stop critics stealing it. Who else would want to?
Не полезешь, что ли? Ну, пробуй через дверь. Там уж прибили, поди кого-нибудь.
Locked? No way was I going to break through a door like that.
За Николь, конечно, интереснее играть, потому что мы не проходили еще за нее и не знаем, как здесь проходить. А за Джорджа мы уже играли.
Cochon's front door. There was a fresh scratch on the paint. The kind that's left when someone's picked the lock. If I was right, Imelda was getting a lesson from a mime artist. And it wasn't the old moving staircase routine. A doorbell. The intercom system wasn't working. Bad sign. Somebody had cut the wire.
Есть вариант, где нужно лезть наверх.
Fixed tight. Presume. That broken window looked like the best way in. If only I could get up to the window.
Ну, добирайся.
It was held in place by wires. People say, what's the point of modern art? I say, isn't it obvious? Fixed tight.
Что, не хочет? Блин, а что ж такое?
I unhooked the first wire.
Что, она ж рухнет? Поясните мне, что она делает?
I released the second wire. Even with both wires removed, the statue remained upright.
А, далеко, да? Ясно.
If I could deconstruct this, I could deconstruct anything.
Я думала, что Мим по ней забрался, поэтому она и тоже могла бы это сделать. Но, видимо, Мим забрался каким-то другим способом. Тросы мы, кстати, с тобой не забрали.
The plastic sheet was thick and strong. I'd need more than my hands to tear it.
Ну боже, чем отдирать-то можно? Не заколкаешь?
No.
Прям не гильза. Средств для абсолютно всего. Если нас застукают, скажут, что мы убийцы. Это в разные месте преступления. Здесь ничего нет для нас полезного. Ох, Николь, осторожнее надо быть. Эх, там поди труп уже нельзя.
My God, I'm too late. Imelda. Oh no.
Она жива.
Nico?
Don't worry, you're going to be all right.
You know that isn't true.
It was Merlin, wasn't it?
Dressed as a cavalier. How absurd. You came to warn me, didn't you?
I must be crazy.
Let me see you, Nico.
All this time you were just using me. Which one is the real Imelda?
You are an extraordinary girl. Thierry would have been so proud of you.
You didn't know my father.
So like him. Something about the eyes. I wish we'd had time to get to know each other.
She was gone. She cheated me, lied to me, used me. But why?
Она обманула меня, использовала меня. Но почему, сказала Николь. Перевод здесь, конечно, часто не совпадает с действительным текстом. Это печально.
Even in death, Imelda looked the same. Beautiful, inscrutable. The Ice Queen alone in her ice palace.
Что это?
I opened it. Inside was a tiny gold key. I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
Даже походить не удалось по остальной части. Дома, тем не менее, у нас есть ключик для вот этой, видимо, шкатулки. Интересно, что ж там такое.
In the dim light, I caught the reflection of something metallic. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. It was a bug. Oh, chère cousine, you left me a little present. You shouldn't have.
Она при этом о моем скрипте во всем разговаривала с Джорджем прямо здесь. Откровенно говоря, несколько притянуто, конечно, сам еще выглядит.
You don't scare me. Espèce de...
А раньше почему не выкинула? Нашла же раньше.
The box was carved by my father. The elephant on the lid.
Так, это мы все слышали? Ключик.
I took out the key. I couldn't believe it. Imelda's key opened my father's box. I dreaded what I was going to find inside.
Ты немедленно была с ним? Или что?
It was a photograph of Imelda. But why here? In my father's box? I felt as if a black hole had swallowed me up. Imelda and Carchon grinning. While behind them a village was being razed to the ground. Its people butchered. And there, next to them, staring out at me across the years, my own father. There was a letter. I feared there was even worse to come. Hotel St. George, Algiers, Friday. My darling Thierry, by the time you read this, you'll be safely out of Africa. You need not fear. Pierre and the organization do not know who you're really working for, or about us. Did you think I would betray you? I could not. You wanted me to leave him, but I don't have your courage. I know too much of what has been going on here. They would find me and they would kill us both. Enjoy your life in Paris, Thierry. Your life of honor, of patriotic duty. Do they give medals to spies? No, they'll just give you a phony job in an embassy somewhere. I could never share that with you. Imagine me, a diplomat's wife. So I must stay here with Pierre, the two of us bound together by what we have done to this country. Au revoir, my love. You will be in my heart until I die. Imelda. Suddenly everything made sense. My father had been working undercover for the government. He was one of the good guys after all.
Ну, естественно, как могло быть по-другому. Эх, шаблоны, шаблоны.
He and Imelda must have fallen in love. She'd found out who he really was, so he had to leave. It had broken her heart, but she had never revealed it to anyone. I knew I couldn't either. Whatever he was doing, he'd had good reason to keep it secret. I decided I would respect that and tell nobody.
Поэтому она обо всем не рассказала Джорджу. Ах, как-то... Тайные интриги... Джордж все так в открытую, все ей рассказывает, а она... Выглядела изначально такой дурочкой, а на самом деле...
I knew it was George. For a moment I was tempted to pretend that I was out, or ask him to go away and come back later. But then Come in.
Hello, George. So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's. I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Pegram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Pegram's gem?
The Templars gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man.
Ну, собственно, нечего с ним на больше обсуждать, но...
Do you want to look after the gem?
No, George. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
И за манускриптом бы лучше не смотреть, если учитывать, что за ней следят, и в ее квартиру практически заходят жучки устанавливать.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobinot at the Kron Museum. And why don't you see if Rousseau has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.
Ну, действительно, выглядит, да, что он сидит, ничего не делает. С одной стороны, конечно, вся эта история лучше раскрывает личность Николь и раскрывает, почему она сидела, ничего не делала, почему не ездила с нами, не помогала.
I so much wanted to talk to George about everything that had happened, but I knew I never could. My father's connection to Africa would have to remain a secret forever. His bravery would be known only to the government and to me. Revealing it would just damage his memory. People would take the story and twist it. Before long, he would be the villain and Carchon would be the hero. I know how they do that. I'm a journalist.
Да, ну как-то она так из дурочки, которая она периодически выглядела в оригинале, она здесь такая стала очень своевольная и сильная, смелая мадам, очень умная из этой части игры. И я даже не знаю, какая Николь мне нравится больше, если честно. Что здесь было, кто помнит? Ладно, это не важно, музей. Сначала с Андре поговорим, потом с Россо. Где Андре? Андре нету?
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur? Do you know anything?
Так это было?
Yeah, you don't. No, it was. He taught me the. Why don't you start over and enroll for adult education? You know, at your age.
Сейчас мы пропустим. Выйдем.
Thanks for.
Ну-ка еще раз.
Pardon me. Oui, monsieur?
Ну и фиг с ним. Блин, чувак, нам не нужен ты с образованием. Я прошу прощения, что я так все это пропустила. Там, наверное, стоило бы, может быть, конечно, послушать, но нам нужен был вообще-то нужен был Андре, а не этот чувак. И давайте полицейский участок. И Россами. Что за хрень? Не тянется.
Yes.
Have you heard of a man called Marquet?
Yes. He used to be known as the Mole of Montmartre. I heard he's been hospitalized, probably by one of his rivals.
Which hospital was Marquet taken to?
The Hagenmeyer Clinic. In the avenue des Hérissons.
Why was Marquet known as the Mole of Montmartre?
Because he lived in Montmartre, I suppose.
Yeah, but why the mole?
I don't know. Maybe he ruined people's lawns.
I'd like to report an assault.
Yes, monsieur? Where is the victim?
I'm the victim. I've been harassed by a pair of thugs.
I see. And where did this alleged assault take place?
Outside the Hotel Ubu. They stopped me as I was leaving and went through my pockets.
Could you describe the suspects, monsieur?
One looked like a gorilla, and the other looked like a weasel. Their names are Flap and Guido.
Bon. I'll get them this time.
Он не уточнил, почему this time. То есть на этот раз.
See you later, Sergeant.
То есть они уже в курсе, да, о них. Или мы уже разговаривали об этом. Неважно. Так, у нас появилась больница. Непонятно, почему нет Андре. Ладно. Больницу, так в больницу.
There was no sign of the crew of the ambulance. I felt a little guilty as I tried the door, like I was about to rob a grave. I gripped the handle with an involuntary tremble in my hand and pulled. The door was locked.
Отлично. Доктор?
Hi, my name's George Sтоббарта.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
I'm looking for a guy named Jacques Marquet.
In which department does he work?
He doesn't. He's a patient.
I see. You do realize there are strict policies regarding visiting hours, don't you?
This is important. I have to talk to Marquet urgently.
We make no exceptions to the rules.
It's a matter of life and death.
The well-oiled running of this hospital is a matter of life and death. That's why we have rules.
I think I ought to warn you that Marquet is not what he seems.
Explain yourself.
He's in league with a bunch of guys who want to take over the world.
Nonsense. Besides, Marquet's employers have paid in advance for one of our most exclusive private rooms.
Could you tell me who Marquet's employers are?
Certainly not.
Ладно, оно не поможет.
Thanks for your help. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plants. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Больница какая красивая.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Конечно.
Yeah, I'm his long-lost brother.
A brother half his age with a different name and an American accent.
Yeah, people always say that. I blame Mom. We were separated at an early age. After a mix-up in the nursery at the Oakland shopping mall.
I've never heard anything so ridiculous in all my life.
I guess not. So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Has Marquet been visited by a man in a clown costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear. He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from the zoo.
Так, это нам тоже не поможет.
You're welcome.
От нее тоже толку не будет. Сможем ли мы спокойненько пройти? Можем. Упс. Куда ты? Джордж. Не сюда надо идти. Как-то он странно ходит. Точнее, здесь все равно, да, плутает. Ну-ка.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Да, не
Thanks for your
ничего.
help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
А доктор нам не поможет?
Excuse me, sir.
И это дома.
Thanks for your help.
Интересно, что мы в одну сторону жмем идти, а он идет почему-то в другую. Да что ж такое? Ничего не такого. А что в подсказках? Я не могу найти дорогу к палате. Ну уж нет.
The woman managed to look overworked and hassled, though she didn't appear to be doing anything. The guy seemed to be practicing his air of authority. Today, he was working on his withering stare.
Мы должны сами справиться. Ну что за фигня, что мы дорогу не найдем. Ну, а если выйти? Никого здесь больше нет? Да нет, никого нет. Ну все же написано, почему она путается? Слушайте, а может фотку показать? Что у нас есть? Фотка у нас есть. Ну-ка, давайте фотку покажем.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
What does this false nose remind you of?
Oh, it's a clown's nose.
Слушайте, а вот это, наверное, нам нужно. Показать.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see. He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well-disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine. 6 o'clock alarm call, 6:10 bowel movements, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
She's like part of the furniture.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Отлично, теперь мы знаем, куда идти, и
Thanks
теперь
for
мы
your help,
должны
ma'am.
You're welcome.
добраться, видимо, правильно до палаты. Пробуем.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow. Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
It's a deal.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the corridors?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With a friend like him, I've no fear of oppressors.
It must be a great comfort.
He is.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think it's odd, don't you? I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull-through.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Понятно.
See you later.
Yeah, take care now.
Ну, все мы знаем, что нужно делать. Нам нужно пробраться вот сюда. Это нас, конечно же, не пустит. Водичку почему-то Джордж в этот раз пить не хочет. Потом может выпнуть шнур.
The connector in the socket supplied electricity to the polishing machine.
Понять не хочет. Ну, нужно сначала попробовать дверь открыть.
Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Выдергиваем мистера мышцу.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died.
Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Замечательно. Ну? Джордж, по-моему, мог это сделать еще до того, как наш приятель пошел в ту сторону, мне кажется. У него бы было больше времени. Всё. Так, а мы можем отправляться с вами в путь. Как доктор Стоббарта. Уже второй раз.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
You'll need this, Doctor.
Уже второй раз мы представляемся доктором.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeyer. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Здорово.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good. Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Так. Ну, давайте поговорим с товарищем, он снова задает.
Hello, anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Sтоббарта, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
You better believe it. What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job. Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Ну и отвали от нас.
I'll come back later.
Ладно, давайте мы продолжим с вами уже, наверное, в следующей части. Будем лечить пациентов, пытаться пробраться к Марке, или как он там произносится. Вот. И так далее. Потому что у нас куча дел в больнице. И не так много времени сейчас, чтобы нам сюда не затянулось, как это так бывает. Так что до встречи в следующей части и пока!